Alright guys, welcome to another boring ass video with me, Cam. So it's another boring video, new block, new me, all that jazz. This is day one, so this is squat and bench today, moving away from SBD days, lower frequency, might talk about that later, who knows. Aside from that, I'm going to work out and then, so you might be wondering why I'm waddling all over the place. I've got a plate down here and I keep standing on it. I'm going to do my workout, take you through all that, and then give you 3 of my personal favourite accessories to program for squats. Whether you care, whether you don't, hang around, who knows. They are going to be based off me, so if you are a very good squatter, short femurs probably not going to help you. If you're gangly as fuck and look like Slender Man, but like skinnier and worse, then it might help. But I've got 160 on the bar now, working up to a single at an RP6, first singles off the block. I'm excited, kind of, gonna see what I can do. Single is done. I am so happy with that. 185 for one at honestly an RP like sub 6. I'm gonna put it in as a 6 anyway, just to be on the safe side. But realistically, like that felt like I could do 6 or 7 reps quite comfortably. So really happy with that. Got some back offs now. It's like a 3x3 at like 72%. So really nothing exciting. Obviously volume is the lowest it's going to be as an intro week, just building into the block gradually, but really happy with that. Get my back off work out the way, into some bench, and then crack on with my accessories. Alright guys, I am back. I didn't forget this time. Normally I forget, but I didn't this time. As I mentioned earlier, I was going to take you through my three, this is a weird angle. I was going to take you through my 3 favourite accessory exercises for the squat. Now I think whenever you're looking at why you would program particular exercises, don't just chuck them in haphazardly. Don't just chuck them in because you've seen someone else, I don't know, your favourite Instagram lifter, should be me, doing them. Work out what your own weaknesses are and build your program around that. Obviously, if you've got a coach, he will do that for you. For me, as someone who's 6'3", extremely long legs, even for my height, I tend to tip over in the squat. A couple of reasons. Naturally, I will tip over anyway because to be able to keep the bar on my midfoot with this diddy torso of mine, I'm going to have to tip over. But then as I'm coming out the hole, my knees shoot back because my quads are excessively weak, and that puts the load into my glutes and my lower back where I am stronger. So the obvious way of how to fix that is to work on being able to A, stop my knees receding in the squats, being able to keep them forward, and to also build more strength in the quads. The first exercise I would pick, or that I use personally, is a pause squat. So I'll use my competition stance, grip, low bar obviously, and I'll use a 1 to 2 count pause at the bottom. Now depending on what I'm doing them for specifically, on what day, I'll program different rep ranges. If it's a strength day, which I have done in the past, that'll be 1 to 5 reps. If you are doing that, you have to make sure that you're nailing those pauses. Don't just do what I've done, I think most people do, which is, you go down, barely pause, come up, say it's pause on social media or whatever, and you don't really get anything out of the movement. If you're going to do it, get down, pause 1 to 2 seconds, good pause, and then come back up. Benefits of a pause squat outside of just load management, because you are pausing at the bottom, it's going to give you the opportunity to AQ better, but almost be more aware of your body in space. So be able to fix these issues you're having that maybe you don't have the chance to when you're doing your competition squat. Another benefit is obviously the hypertrophy element. By having your 1 to 2 count, you're jacking up time under tension massively. So that's going to help put you in a better position for building muscle over time. Now, obviously, the more muscle you have, the more opportunity for neurological adaptation you have. So the more chance for strength down the line. So if you're like me and you've got diddy quads, one of the things you're going to have to do is deal with the fact you've got diddy quads and try and build those up. Tons of time under tension, give you the opportunity to fix your squat patterning while you're doing the movement itself, and help with that cueing. The second exercise I would pick is a high bar squat, and this is arguably my personal favourite for trying to build up my quads and also fix this movement pattern, or at least deal with the onset of it. So the reasoning for a high bar squat is by placing the bar higher on your shoulders, on your traps, you're forcing a more upright squat pattern. That's going to mean you've got to push you've got to push your knees further forward, which is going to force more load onto the quads and the knee extensors as opposed to the hips. So how I normally program the high bar squat is on a secondary day, sets of sort of 6 to 10, extremely submaximally, looking to really nail the cueing, but also not to lose the movement pattern I'm trying to achieve, which is a very upright, or at least as upright as I can possibly get with my weird proportions, and to keep my quads in the lift, keep my knees forward. What I tend to see when I program higher exertion, so RPEs 8s, 9s, and higher intensity, so triples, doubles, singles, what I find is all the benefits you would get from it tend to disappear and put under a heavy load or maximal load, and you lose your positioning. the knees shoot back and it becomes more hip dominant. So you're almost reinforcing that squat pattern that you're trying to use this exercise to get out of. So for that reason, I tend to stay way shy of failure and way in a much lower intensity zone, probably like 60 to 70% of my 1RM. Yeah, so high bar squats, front squats, anything that forces you into a more upright squatting pattern is going to drastically help with keeping your comp squat more upright, believe it or not. My third and final pick for this realistically, I don't know if you've got this far, but anyway, my third pick would be the belt squat. For those who don't know what belt squat is, essentially, it removes all the axial loading, so all the back loading, by attaching the weight to a belt. Now, I've never actually used a proper belt squat. They look pretty cool. But I've used a landmine, not as good, but it's fairly similar. Now, the point of a belt squat is for you remove all of the axial loading, so it's a lot better on your back, and also it hammers the quads, which this is sort of the goal of this exercise for me, and this sort of slot that I have. As I've already mentioned, more hypertrophy equals more strength in the long run. If you are seeing these issues of your knees receding, it's probably because your knee extensors aren't strong enough to hold up. So by building your knee extensors, you're going to give yourself more opportunity to stay in the quads for longer at heavier weights. Realistically, this could be any quad builder. I like to try and keep it as much in the same squat pattern as I can. Obviously, you could say Bulgarian split squat, you could say leg extensions, but although those are great quad builders, I prefer to use these exercises in a squat specific pattern. That's why, in my opinion, if you're looking to fix your knees receding, trying to build your quads, the first thing you've got to look at is the pole squats, the high bar squats, the belt squats, the leg extensions, stuff like that. It's good sprinkled on top, but in isolation, it's not really going to fix isolation. That's a good one. In isolation, it's not really going to fix anything. But all these three together, put into a coherent program, rep ranges, intensity zones that make sense. I feel like you, and by you I mean me, are well on my way to stop the old good morning squat and to save my lower back some absolute damage. Alright guys, I hope that made some semblance of sense. I don't know if I'm going to be able to cut that together, make it anything coherent. I'm still not very good at talking to the camera and getting my sort of viewpoint across. It's still very difficult for me. It's something I'm working on. If you'd like to see me do this for bench and for deadlift, let me know in the comments. Realistically, I'm probably going to do it anyway because I need the practice and because I'm starved for anything closely resembling content. So I probably will do these for bench and deadlift. But let me know in the comments anyway. Anyway, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, all those good stuff. And I will see you potentially, I don't know, maybe never, maybe next week, who knows.